Hello everyone, I am Sai Chaitanya. Welcome to SciTech. In this video, I'll be comparing the POCO F2 Pro versus Redmi K20 Pro device. So very soon the Redmi or the POCO, they will launch the POCO F2 Pro on the name of POCO F2 Pro or the Redmi K30 Pro device as well. So definitely once the Redmi they launch the mobile phone, you need to know which phone to buy. Whether you should buy the low price model Redmi K20 Pro, or is it worth upgrading to the Redmi K30 Pro or the POCO F2 Pro. So right now in this video I'll be using as an example of the POCO F2 Pro device. So this is the POCO F2 Pro model which I am using for the past few days as well. So definitely right now in this video I'll be doing in-depth comparison side by side between the POCO F2 Pro and the Redmi K20 Pro device. But one thing you need to keep in mind is that the POCO F2 Pro and the Redmi K30 Pro, they both are same in terms of the specifications and everything. So if in India, if the phone gets launched by Redmi K30 Pro, even this, whatever I'm telling in this video will be also applicable to that model as well. So in this video I'll be covering all these following aspects, so which I've selected this kind of top interesting topics for each and everything, and I'll be doing same kind of comparisons between all of my other videos as well. Same kind of this kind of small chart which I'll be taking, and I'll be explaining clearly what are the difference between both the phones in all of my videos. So try to check my comparison videos so you can understand clearly. So right now let's get started with the comparison. First is the software updates. So in terms of the software updates, definitely both the phones, they do have the same kind of software updates. So there is nothing much special about this one. Both phones will get at the same time as well in terms of the update. So or no other issues in terms of the update. So because right now I'm running the MIUI 12 in both the phones, as you can see right now, without any problem. So in terms of the updates, both are pretty equal. So next it comes to the battery and the charging time. So in terms of the charging, first let me speak about the charging. In the charging, the Redmi K20 Pro actually supports 27 watt charging, whereas the POCO F2 Pro can support 33 watts charging. So 33 watt versus the 27 watts on the Redmi K20 Pro has 18 watts and 33 watts. So in terms of the charging speed, the POCO F2 Pro can charge in 70 minutes, whereas the Redmi K20 Pro will take close to 1 hour 25 minutes. I think that is the time which it takes. It's not too much, but still it's a little bit more time than the POCO F2 Pro. And in terms of the battery backup, the POCO F2 Pro is slightly more than the Redmi K20 Pro in terms of the battery backup, because of having 4700 mAh battery, which gives you plenty of more battery than the Redmi K20 Pro. So in my experience, so for example, if I take the phone with 100% with the Redmi K20 Pro, I would end the day with I think close to 30% after the MIUI 12 update, whereas the POCO F2 Pro I used to end close to 40% or 45. So there's a difference of 10 to 20% of the battery percentage between both of the smartphones. So overall in terms of the battery, 4700 versus 4000 mAh battery here. So this is a comparison between this area. Next is the performance. So in terms of the performance, friends, no problem even if you buy the Snapdragon 855, but still if you have the budget, if you have the money to buy the model 865, then definitely why not, you can buy this 865. This phone has a 180 touch sampling rate as well, so which is very smooth and fluid. The phone doesn't have any high refresh rate, but still it performs very faster in of having the high touch sampling rate. As you can see in terms of the Antutu benchmark scores as well, you can see 865 performs pretty good, 5,72,764. So whereas the Redmi K20 Pro can get around the 4,43,000. So overall it's a difference of 1,30,000. That's a huge difference between both the processors. So definitely this phone, the Redmi K20 Pro, I am using for the past I think 1 year, close to 1 year I'm using. So till now I did not have any issues with the performance. As you can see right now, I've installed plenty of applications in the phone, so there is not a single day which I felt lag or delay or forced off any applications like that. So overall you will be happy whatever phone you buy, but if you have the budget, if you have the future-proof planning of using the phone for next 4 years, then definitely always choose the top-end model every time. So 855 is the top end model for the last year, and 865 is the top end model for this year. So choose the 865 processor only. So in terms of the performance, the clear winner is the POCO F2 Pro phone. So next let's talk about the display. In terms of the display, both the phones are pretty good in having the color saturation levels and settings in the software. So where you can choose the video toolbox option to change the colors and styles, as you can see. So both the phones, they do have the advantage of increasing the colors. So this makes the both equally tied between color saturation levels. But if you want a bigger display, choose the POCO F2 Pro. If you want small display, you can choose the Redmi K20 Pro as well. So this is only one difference I can say. So if you ask me which phone I will choose, I will always choose the big display phone, POCO F2 Pro. But the Redmi K20 Pro will give you single hand usage very good possible in your hand, as you can see, which is very good in terms of handling single hand usage because of having small form factor when you compare with the POCO F2 Pro. So in this case, it's a kind of tie between both phones because none of them either are the high refresh rate, so I cannot even give the points to other one, and both they do have the always on display functionality, which is other good advantage. So next is the camera. So in terms of the camera, you need to remember there is a one extra lens which has been added, which is a macro lens. So in the Redmi K20 Pro, you don't have the macro lens. So if you don't want macro, that's good, fine. But there's other thing you need to know is that in the POCO F2 Pro, there's option of recording 8K footage. As you can see, friends, so you can record the 8K footage clearly in the POCO F2 Pro. So whereas in the Redmi K20 Pro, you can actually record only for 4K at 60 FPS. That is the maximum you can record. But POCO F2 Pro, you can record up to 8K. So that's another good thing in the POCO F2 Pro, definitely. So if you're looking for as a future-proof option, always buy the phones which have this kind of higher resolution recording like 8K. So this is a quick comparison in terms of the camera. Even both the phones, they do have pop-up camera and no issues with the pop-up camera, and even the pop-up camera got slightly faster in the POCO F2 Pro, which I felt. So in terms of unlocking device using the Face ID, I can feel the pop-up camera has been slightly faster than the Redmi K20 Pro device. So next is the connectivity. In terms of the connectivity, both are kind of having same advantage, very good Wi-Fi signals and very good 4G signals, but the POCO F2 Pro comes with a 5G variant. The 5G variant is another advantage in the POCO F2 Pro, definitely as a future proof. If you want to buy a phone which is a 5G capability, then definitely the POCO F2 Pro will give you the best option for you all. So next is in terms of the build quality and speakers. So in terms of the build quality, it's a personal opinion, definitely, friends. I can say that because the Redmi K20 Pro is slightly smaller than the POCO F2 Pro. As you can see right now how much small it is. The single hand usage will be very good here and big screen here. So it's up to you, friends, which phone to decide in terms of the build quality. But overall, both the phones, they do have very good build quality, and speakers, the POCO F2 Pro sounds a lot better than the Redmi K20 Pro. So that's another good advantage in terms of speakers in the POCO F2 Pro. And the extra features include both phones, they do have the notification light on the top of the pop-up camera, so there is not much difference. They both have the same kind of headphone jack on the top, as you can see here. So same kind of Type-C ports on the bottom. So same placement for the speakers as well. So overall, these are the few things which you need to know before buying the device. And if you ask me, Redmi K20 Pro is a good option right now or not? Yes, the Redmi K20 Pro is a good option and you can buy it. But if you want to use the phone for next 4 years with a heavy usage, with a normal usage, K20 Pro is good, but with heavy usage and with lot of gaming, then you need very good powerful processor. So that is the POCO F2 Pro. So for more videos, to subscribe or to my channel SciTech Guru. So that's it for this video comparison. So see you in the next video. Until then, bye.